I have developed my own website and I have hosted it in the internet. I was able to do that in just few hours time by the use of few AWS services and few DNS services. Like today, I'm going to help you understand how you can build your own website and deploy it in AWS probably in an hour or two just by using few basic services. First of all, here is a glimpse of how my application looks. It is as of now simple and static, and it has linked to some of the YouTube videos what I had posted in the past. I intend to develop this website and make it better. For now, let us understand how I built it, how was I able to deploy it and make it available across the internet so easily. So to do this, I needed to do just four things. The first thing is developing the website in itself, the code which is behind this website. That is the first part. The second thing is deploying the application sample. We will be talking about. The third thing is purchasing my own domain. So the domain is the address of mine in the internet. How I was able to purchase it very quick, very fast and easy. That's what we are going to talk. The last one is about how I was able to configure the traffic routing. Like if you put my website address, how it reaches my website. We are going to talk how I configured it. And I use few services smartly to do this very fast. For developing the application, I used Google Jules. Second, for deploying it, I used AWS S3. You might be surprised. AWS S3 is primarily a storage service, but it can also help in hosting static websites. So we will learn that today. Number three, how did I purchase my own domain? I did it from GoDaddy. I will show you a quick demo of how I was able to do that easily. Fourth one is how I was able to configure the overall traffic routing so that when you hit my website address, how it reaches my website. We will talk about all of those. So the first thing, now it is time to build the website in itself. So what I did is basically very simple. I went to Google Jules. I went to Google Jules and I said, hey, I have a YouTube channel and I have a lot of videos in it. Now I want to build my own static website. And I gave all the URLs and everything to Google Jules and then said, hey, this is a website. This is how I want it to look like. Can you create it for me? So Google Jules was able to create it. And then I did a lot of review, lot of discussion with Google's. And in around 10 to 15 minutes, I had the website ready. I was able to download those HTMLs. I was able to verify it locally. So it is a really good looking site what Google Jules created for me. So that kind of wraps up the very first part, right? On how I develop the site. I'm not going into the code. But meanwhile, if you want to know how to use Google Jules and what is Google Jules, check out this linked video in which we have spoken a lot about it. It's a wonderful AI pair programmer for you. It can do a lot of things autonomously. Please go ahead, check out the linked video. I will put the link in the description as well. So that covers the very first part on how I built the website. The second thing is the time for deployment. As I said earlier, I have done using AWS S3. Now let us talk about how you can use S3 to deploy your static website. So very simple. First, obviously, you are going to need an AWS account for sure. You can create it for free. So far, whatever I'm doing, it is free. You need not pay any amount. But as we progress further, there are few steps where you may incur a charge. I will talk about that. So the very first thing you need to do is go ahead and create your own bucket. Now let me say I want to create a website for the YouTube channel.in. Now I need to name the bucket in the exact same way how my URL should look like. I'm going to leave most of the default setting as is. Here it says block all public access. I'm going to remove that because I want public you all to be able to access this. So if you are doing this, you need to disable block all public access. You acknowledge the warning and then you can add some tags as you want. And you can take a look at the advanced settings, but you can leave it everything as is for now, time being. So I'm going to go ahead and create the bucket. Once the bucket is created, you can go in and you have to make few changes to the setting. First thing is you go to the properties, you scroll down, you will see something called static website hosting. This is disabled by default. You need to enable it. I say enable, and then it will ask whether I'm hosting a static website or some other option. You're going to say yes. It's going to ask what is the index page. That is what is the default page which should be loaded when someone is using this application. I say index.html. Error also I'm going to keep it as is as error.html. Save changes. Now this is done. There is one more change. What you will need to do is go to the permissions and attach a policy so that anyone is able to access the data. So I'm going to go to one of my existing application, an S3 bucket, and then copy the policy and then add it here. So this policy basically allows anyone to basically access my S3 bucket. So basically it allows you to get object. It will not allow you to delete or modify things. Obviously, it will allow you to fetch data and then view the content from our website, and anyone can do it. Principal star means anyone can do this. I'm gonna save these changes. So there we go. Now the changes are done. We need to upload the files. Whatever HTML files we prepared using Google Jules, I'm gonna upload it right here, and then we should be all ready. So I'm gonna move my files and upload. So I have a index.html, which is the basic page, and a corresponding style.css, which gives all the formatting and stuff, and then an error page, which will pop up whenever there is an error. So I have uploaded my files. Once you do that, you can go back to properties, scroll down. Here you will see this URL. You can copy this and then you can open it in a new tab. Wonderful. Here, if you see whatever HTML I prepared using Google Jules, that is accessible. You can potentially give this URL to anyone across the world and they will be able to access your application in real time from phone, laptop, tablet, anywhere. So you have already have an application which is hosted in the internet, accessible by anyone. What is the only catch? The URL does not look that great. The YouTube channel, .in, S3 website, US East 1 and all of that. You cannot directly customize it using S3. You need to use some additional services to be able to customize this. Like in my case, I wanted to build my own domain and own website. So what is the next step which we need to do is buying your own domain. But before we go there, if you are liking our content, it will be really great and encouraging for me if you go ahead and subscribe to our channel. Also share your like and comments as well. Now, it is time for us to go and purchase our own domain. So this domain is nothing but your address. Like google.com is a domain which is owned by Google. Facebook.com, Meta.com is owned by those corresponding companies. Similarly, I have went and purchased my own domain by paying a cost. So this is not free. So if you are going to try this, please note you are going to incur a cost. This you can do from various different providers. For example, AWS has a DNS service called Route 53, from where you can do this. But I found it to be a little costlier, so I chose a different option called GoDaddy. So you have to go to godaddy.com and then you can search for whatever site you want. So let me search for what I want. I want the YouTube channel.in. You can search for it. I will change the amount to rupee. So it will show you whether the site is available or not, how much it is going to cost, and things like that. The YouTube channel.in is available. It's available at just 1 rupee for the first year, 749 for the subsequent years. So if you want to go ahead and purchase, you can just go ahead and say make it yours, and then you can add to your cart. You can put your address and other details, and you will become the owner of this domain in probably 10 minutes time. It is as simple as that to register and buy your own domain. So if you are a business user, if you are planning to create your own small business, your startup or whatever, having your own domain is very, very important so that people are able to access what services you provide and what you do. And it's as easy as you see here. So I was able to continue, add to my cart, and in 10 minutes time, I had my domain registered, up and running, accessible from anywhere in the internet. Now, what we have done is create my own domain. But it does not show the content what I have in my S3. I have to link it. You have to link the YouTube channel.in with whatever content I have in my S3 bucket. So this is what we have to do. I'm gonna not gonna go and purchase because I have already purchased my domain. It's called tzacademy.in is my domain where my website is hosted and accessible. I can show you pretty quick here. Let me go ahead and open a new site. TechZoomAcademy.in. Here you can see the website, but I will show you how I was able to do that. So the first thing you need to do is go ahead and configure the routing. When someone is typing in the internet tzacademy.in or the YouTube channel.in, where should the request go? That is the routing, the fourth part, what we are going to learn now. You can do that for free in GoDaddy itself. It offers you that as free along with whatever purchase you are doing. But instead of using GoDaddy, you can also use other services which give you more flexibility, more better integration with AWS, something like AWS Route 53. So what I have done, I have purchased my domain from GoDaddy. but I use AWS Route 53 to manage it, to manage the routing, to manage how my traffic should go. Again, there is a small cost which you will pay to AWS Route 53 for doing this. So if you are trying it, you might just use GoDaddy's routing policy. It is perfectly fine. But Route 53 of AWS offers better, closer integration with other AWS services. It offers multiple different routing policies as well. So for learning and to help you understand how is Route 53 working, I have decided to host my domain and do the routing from Route 53. So you have to go to this Route 53 services and you have to create something called creating a new hosted zone. So as of now, I have one hosted zone that is a tzacademy.in. So let us say here I go ahead and then say the YouTube channel.in. So this should be the domain which you own. Let us assume I own this. You can just put in all the details and then you can say create hosted zone. It might take a minute or so. So once you do that, you will see two records which are automatically showing up here. One is something called an NS record or a name service record, and other is called an SOA record. Here you have on the top some details of the name servers as well. You will see four different servers. So these are the servers of Route 53, which is gonna help you route your traffic. But you will be wondering, hey, you purchase from GoDaddy, but then you right away configured in Route 53. How will it connect? So here is the thing. You have to copy these name servers. You have to GoDaddy and make the change. I will show you in my GoDaddy account. I can go ahead. I can show you how I was able to do that. So here is my GoDaddy domain portfolio, which has all the domains I have. So TZ Academy is mine. So here I can go ahead and then I can make changes to this. So let me go ahead and then say edit DNS or edit name servers you can do. So by default, GoDaddy uses its own name servers to route your traffic. But if you want to use the name servers of Route 53, you have to change from GoDaddy name servers to use, I will use my own name servers. And these are the four addresses what I had copied from Route 53. So once I do that, GoDaddy will no longer take care of routing requests to my domain. Rather, it will hand over that work to AWS Route 53. And for this purpose, there is a small cost which I'm going to continue paying for AWS. So once you make this change, the handshake or the integration between GoDaddy and Route 53 is done. Now the initial connect is done. It is time for us to go ahead and create a record to connect and do the actual routing in itself. What you need to do, you need to say create a record. You say simple routing. As I said, you see a lot of routing options are available within Route 53. You can do weighted routing where you can decide how much traffic should go to one endpoint and other, location-based routing, failover routing, and lot of different things. These are not available in GoDaddy. So in future, if you want your website to be highly reliable, highly fast, you might want to use something like a Route 53, but for simple learning purpose, GoDaddy is perfectly good. So I'm gonna say simple routing, click next, and you have to define your record. In my case, anyone reaching the YouTube channel.in should be seeing my website. I'm not gonna put any subdomain. So here we can say route traffic to something and where should it route. So here I can say alias to S3 website endpoint. So I want it to route data to my website, right? One thing you have to make sure, whatever you see here, the YouTube channel.in, this has to exactly match with your bucket name. My bucket name is also the YouTube channel.in. If there is any difference between these two, the routing is not gonna work. So this is one of the limitation of S3 based hosting. Fortunately, I have the bucket and I have this domain in exactly same name. It exactly matches. So I don't have any subdomain. I have the YouTube channel.in. I have to say alias to S3 website endpoint and I have to choose my address, which in this case is US Eastwood. And I have to put the S3 website as well. So this is the website you have to put. You don't need to put the complete URL of your hosted website. Like in this case, the YouTube channel.in S3 website. You don't need to put that. You just need to simply put S3 website US Eastwood. So Route 53 is going to go inside this and it is going to search for an S3 bucket whose name matches this, the YouTube channel.in, and then it is going to route there. I say define simple and then you say create records. That's it. Now, if anyone goes to the internet and hits the YouTube channel.in, it will show my content. Obviously, I did not purchase this, so it is not gonna work. But if you follow these exact same steps, it is gonna work for you. But let me show you what I have done in my case. Right? I will show you tzacademy.in. So here I have one of these routing policy. I will show you this one. I have tzacademy.in and it is routed to S3 website US East 1. Anyone hitting this website will get routed to my existing S3 bucket. So I will show you this bucket as well. This is my tzacademy.in and this is my bucket endpoint, and it obviously has the same content what I just showed you. And if I also go ahead and hit tzacademy.in, let me open in a new window. It is gonna route right there. And this website, I personally love it. It is cool. It has links of some of the best videos what I think I have posted. These are interesting. You will be able to play. Hello everyone. It's time. Or you can which has passed. So it has created router to corresponding YouTube, and then you can view it from their app as well. So I hope you got a good idea of how I was able to develop the site, how I was able to deploy it, how I was able to purchase my domain, do the integration, and then deploy it and make my site accessible to everyone across the internet. I hope this video was short, video was helpful and easy. Please share your feedback in the comment section and do subscribe and share your feedback as well. Thank you so much. Catch you in the next video.